but be deprived my 4 years of my journey by the National Commissioner General Masemola, who forcefully deprived me the opportunity to serve the community of Mpumalanga. I still stand firm to the truth in the interest of justice. The Mpumalanga community and the public at large deserve to know the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth about the going on in the criminal justice system. This account is the truth reflection of what has been happening in the province with the full knowledge of the national office. If public is not careful, work will not be done. And if it's done, it will be done at the behest of individuals and personalities and not according to loyalty to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. The rule of law must be affirmed in the context of the constitutional democracy as adopted by the National Parliament. Every effort must be made to protect the Constitution and the rule of law, the Constitution and the rule of law, and attack any criminality as it rears its ugly head. We dare no fail.
When I say someone is collapsing the entire corrupt subsystem, I'm talking about Lieutenant General Semakaleng Manamela, who has came before the public just a few hours ago to expose everything that has been going on in the Mpumalanga subs. And she collapsed everyone, including the former Minister Bheki Cele, as well as Fannie Masemola, making serious allegations against these particular individuals. In this video, I wanted us to literally talk about these allegations that have been made by Ms. Manamela.
Provincial Commissioner briefed the National Commissioner. To date, the case died a sudden death. The Provincial Commissioner informed the National Commissioner General Masemola the intention to transfer him. Instead, the National Commissioner General Masemola suspended the Provincial Commissioner.
So first, before we can go further, there's people who are asking themselves, why did she get dismissed? Why did she get to be suspended? Because she's currently the suspended Provincial Commissioner of Mpumalanga. So that is because there were allegations of misconduct from her, that she's received gifts as well as influence over the police and has been given some benefits, and she's been accused of abuse of power, nepotism, and corruption. Even though she's went to court before regarding this, and the court set aside her suspension on procedural grounds, but then she was suspended again. But with regards to the receiving of the gifts, it has been alleged that she has received 1.7 million as a gift at the subs welcome party held in different districts and a gala event held at the Rich Hotel in Emalahleni, at which she was introduced to communities and stakeholders across the province as the new police leader between July 2021 and December 2021. According to the reports, the gifts included the 78,410 TV stand, couches that are costing 60,000 rands, as well as the 82,332 worth of household appliances. So after all of this, forensic report was conducted against her and this was found. She was then later on dismissed. I don't know if the problem was because she didn't declare or she declared all of these gifts, but I'm assuming that probably it's because she failed to declare. But now she's coming guns blazing, specifically for two people. And those people are namely Ndlovu as well as Mukangwe. Mr. Mukangwe has played a very big role in these allegations that she has made. I'll first start with the dockets and the task team. So she says a task team was formed and was headed by Fannie Masemola. And this task team was specifically to look at extortion cases, unaliving cases, kidnapping, tracing suspects, as well as political unalivings, amongst many. And they had investigated 159 dockets and 26 were robberies. She did try to give us a distinction as to which were robberies and which were what. Unfortunately, on the 27th of February 2023, the task team was disbanded without reason and all the dockets were taken. And these were taken by Major General Botsotso Makangwe.
Thus, the meeting was held where the retired Deputy Provincial Commissioner Crime Detection Major General Botsotso Makangwe and the Provincial Commissioner, the Deputy Provincial Commissioner Vispon, Major General Madimabe Kobela, then the Brigadier, were present amongst others to assess and agreed on the strategy to minimize the risk. The agreement was reached for the establishment of the task team to address the crime. It was against this ground that the provincial task team was established and approved by the Provincial Commissioner of Mpumalanga, Lieutenant General Manamela, on the 21st December 2021 to mitigate the escalating trends of serious crime, in particular the ATM bombing in the province. In order to mitigate against these emerging trends, the team consisted of 3 members derived from various stations and role players from organized crime, general detectives, crime intelligence, Directorate of Priority Crime Investigations, DPCI, with Tactical Response Team TRT on ad hoc basis was identified. The task team was led by the retired provincial head of serious crime and violence, Brigadier Fannie Masemola. The outstanding performance of the task team was well received based on result-driven approach. Hence, its mandate was extended to other roles such as illegal mining, extortion, political killings, murder, business robbery, kidnapping and tracing of suspects.
Well, she made serious allegations against Botsotso Magangwe, and amongst many, they are really serious ones. And I'm just going to summarize what I've heard. I might have not heard everything properly, but I just wanted us to start this conversation and start talking. Actually, she started talking about how Major General Botsotso Magangwe was handling cases and not attending to certain investigations. And this started after the task team was disbanded, because they had a task team in Mpumalanga. He does. And she says that all those dockets, that task team was disbanded on the 27th of February 2023, and all those dockets were taken by Major General Botsotso Magangwe. And that's the worst thing. They were taken, not investigated, not handled properly, meaning they were just collecting dust. And even though when he was doing that, nothing was done to him.
159 dockets. Dockets amount accounted for were 18 for ATM bombing, 26 politically related, 26 business robbery, 23 ad hoc, 4 parallel, amounting to 97 dockets. Other 62 registered case dockets were, amongst others, murder, attempted murder, possession of unlicensed firearm and ammunition, possession of explosive and illegal mining. The team succeeded in 61 case dockets with more than 61 suspects arrested and charged. Firearms were recovered, suspects were found guilty, others were caught going, and 98 were still under investigation. This excludes other ad hoc cases assigned to the team, to mention but few. In the German case stories, the suspect was arrested and convicted. The political killing cases in Pitritif, both cases suspects are in prison and are still caught going. Disbandment of the provincial task team. On the 27th February 2023, all dockets in the hands of the task team members were taken on instruction of the Deputy Provincial Commissioner, Crime Detection, Major General Botsotso, now retired. The exercise happened during the first suspension of the Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Manamela, where the provincial task team was verbally disbanded. The interference by the retired General Mukangwe compromised the finalization of investigations. Some of the dockets were withdrawn in court due to the absence of the investigating officers, while others were not attended to. Dockets were taken by the then Brigadier M.W. Mahlangu as instructed by General Mukangwe in the provincial office. These dockets were hanging in the provincial office. environment, some without being attended nor investigation being conducted. As such, led to other arrested suspects to be released by the court.
She went further to speak about more allegations that are actually damning against Major General Botsotso. And amongst those was the issue of how he actually was protected by Fannie Masemola.
Intention to suspend by the National Commissioner, of which the suspension was not effected after the submission of the representation. Thereafter, the Provincial Commissioner re-established the task team to continue with its work. With the success the team was delivering, Major General Botsotso Mukangwe disbanded the team again during June 2024, when the Provincial Commissioner was suspended for the second time. This time, with the approval of the acting Provincial Commissioner of Mpumalanga, Major General Zephania Mkonazi, as it is alleged. To take note that this is the acting Provincial Commissioner who is approved by General Masemola to stay in one of the expensive hotels in Nelspruit for the period exceeding 19 months, at some point with his staff members consuming millions of rand for his accommodation. The status of the provincial task team, the Provincial Commissioner took a further decision to extend the mandate of the Provincial Task Team to assist with other cases carried by organized crime, DPCI, stations upon request, acknowledging their progressive work. The task team revealed during various investigations the interference of other law enforcement in the South African Police Service and business people who already captured the system.
Especially whenever he was supposed to be disciplined in certain cases, Fannie Masemola would always find a reason and a way to protect him despite his unlawful acts. And as if that was enough, he also spoke about how he was not executing warrants of arrests that were instituted on 15 dockets and was trying in a way to protect criminals. So if you, as a National Police Commissioner, you're protecting someone who's protecting criminals, clearly you as a police commissioner yourself, which is Fannie Masemola, you are corrupt or you are part of the cartel. Because what she's saying is that it came across as if Botsotso is sort of like serving the interests of the cartel, because she assigned dockets to himself, not executing warrants of arrest, and there was allegations of exchanges of monies amounting to 5 million rands. And according to Miss Manamela, this was the highest form of corruption that was conducted by Major General Botsotso.
Mr. Robert Kaya Sokhone, the former speaker of Victor Kanye local municipality at Delmas, was arrested with Jabulani Mashao, Nolisi Tuli, and Subusiso Ephraim Tuli for attempted murder, robbery aggravating with circumstances, malicious damage to property as per Delmas Case 62 of 11/2020 and Delmas Case 125 of 11/2020. On 20 November 2020, the bail was granted by Magistrate Manisa Zondo under duress, as he claimed to have been threatened and intimidated. After the appeal by the state to oppose bail, the order was granted in favor of the state that the bail be revoked and the warrant of arrest J50 be executed. It was during the next court appearance when Major General Mukangwe withdrew the investigating officers and replaced them by his ally Colonel Matabane Solomon Tobejani to deliberately disturb the court proceedings and the execution of the warrant of arrest, which was about to be effected, protecting his friend. To date, the warrant of arrest is not executed. Mr. Robert Kaya Sokhone have other 15 cases minimum, which are 12 dockets registered in 2020, 3 in 2019. These dockets were assigned to members since 2020-2021. Out of these 15 dockets, Delmas Case 124 of 7/2020 and Delmas case 10704-2020 were transferred to the Deputy Provincial Commissioner Crime Detection Major General Botsotso on the 14th November 2021. Delmas case 165 of 2020 was transferred to Colonel DJ Malope on the 9th November 2020. The latest case is registered as Delmas at Delmas as case 103-11-2025 for extortion. The complainant is Mr. Thabo Motau. No arrest is effected to date. To note that this is the former speaker who confessed to the investigating officer, Constable Jabulani Mdebele, to have funded Colonel Dikhabani John Malope's wedding ceremony at Groblersdal and claimed to be friendship with Mugangwe. Hence, he is protected. The dockets were taken from the stations and kept in offices of senior members in the provincial office without being investigated on instructions of General Mugangwe, while some were gathering dust in his office to ensure that criminals are protected.
As if, guys, that was enough. She came in with more explosive regarding Manamela, talking about how Manamela actually was involved in the cases of releasing criminals and dockets missing, and saying that he manipulated dockets. About 213 dockets were manipulated, and they were collecting dust around 2011 to 2022, and that Major General Mugangwe was actually protecting syndicates, was actually protecting a man by Mduduzi Msibi, very dangerous criminal. So all of these allegations have been made. As if that was enough, guys. She went ahead to also speak about Bheki Cele and how Bheki Cele also was protecting the MEC. And how Bheki Cele wanted a cocktail MEC to be arrested. And whenever she didn't want to arrest this MEC for corruption, she then faced a lot of problems with Bheki Cele, including him trying to remove dockets of Uvusi Gemegeme, who is an ANC official in Mpumalanga. So, Bheki Cele, in a way, it has been alleged that he was protecting certain criminals and who are part of the ANC. So this has caused a lot of problem. This whole thing of taking the dockets is why we are here.
The former Minister of Police, General Bheki Cele, had appetite to instruct and take control on operational duties in cases of politically related in the province. The Piet Retief murder case, case 39 of 11-2022 of the African National Congress Deputy Chair in Mkondo, Mr. Musi Manyati, and the Piet Retief case 138 of 1-2023, the murder of the councillor with other two, made the minister to fly to Piet Retief and instructed that all investigating officers with political killing dockets bring along dockets to account to him. The meeting was held on the 16th January 2023 when he personally called me on Sunday evening on the 15th January 2023. The former minister was eager to remove the dockets from the province. Some of the suspects are in custody to date, arrested by the provincial task team. Surprisingly, Mr. Vusi Mota, well known as Gemegeme, was exonerated. He was protected by the retired Major General Mugangwe and Colonel DJ Malope. Mr. Vusi Gemegeme is a close associate of both Major General Botsotso Mugangwe and Colonel DJ Malope, who was then the investigating officer who deliberately did not do much to investigate the case until he was replaced. The former minister summoned the Gadi investigating team more than twice to Pretoria to give him progress regarding the Gadi case. The investigation of political killings with high-profile cases. Mr. Jimmy Mhlala The speaker of Mbombela was fatally shot and killed in Kanyamazane during 2009, with case 50 of 1, 2009. Mr. Jimmy Mutlala's docket was last kept in head office. The docket, as seen, was without the statement. Colonel Alfred Moloko, who was the investigating officer then, stalled the case, arranging for wrong suspect to be arrested.
According to her, this taking of this docket has allowed a lot of things, including suspects being released. She says that bribes, there are around 300,000, were paid to certain officials to release a man called Bheki Cele, who has been known, very notorious for robberies, and has stolen around about 109 million rands in a bank robbery. So this man is very dangerous, and these officers, including Mr. Bobby Masemola, were enabling such behaviors.
During the court appearance, the junior official whom he, Moloko, assigned to oppose bail informed the magistrate that the description of the suspect are different from those who are supposed to have been arrested. Colonel Moloko deliberately misled him and the court so that the case can be withdrawn. To take note that Colonel Moloko is the officer allegedly who took the bribe of 300,000 rand from the accused Mr. Bheki Cele to stall the case of the attempted murder of Major General Obed Ngwenya, then a colonel, whilst Colonel Moloko was still attached to one of the provincial task teams in Mpumalanga. In no time, he, Moloko, owns 4 houses and a dry clean. Mr. Bheki Cele is currently in prison for robbery where 109 million was robbed in Witbank. The initial suspects on the fraud and corruption of the Mbombela Stadium tender case have been on bail since 2012, which made the case to die ultimately, except one who is released on J534, the payment of admission of guilt. Case numbers as per Nelspruit case 307 of 4, 2012 and case 35010 of 2012 are referenced.
And even when this team was disbanded, these dockets were taken and transferred, she was never informed of all of those acts, and that is what made her even more angry. These are not the only officers that she implicated. There's also Torakaba, which she has said is protecting criminals and has protected a person that did some criminality on a young lady. And this officer actually protected this criminal until this criminal ran away. And as if that is enough, guys, she spoke about Linda Ndlovu and how people are protecting or promoting their wives and the issues of nepotism in the Mpumalanga South. And guys, she went about to speak about the issues of how weddings were paid for by criminals like Thabo Mutaung. People were just benefiting and receiving bribes from criminals. She also spoke about a man called Linda Ndlovu, of which he's part of the people she was in lockerheads with when she wanted to be the National Police Commissioner. All these people wanted to be the National Police Commissioner of Mpumalanga. She says this guy was covering up cases about unalivings. He was receiving bribes, bottles of alcohol, 2,500 bribes in exchange to protecting criminals.
Brigadier Ndlovu was accused to have received 100,000 rand from a businessman, so he says. His house in Witbank is alleged to have been paid by the so-called white man through FNB property bond. The Deputy Provincial Commissioner of Support, Major General Buti Lukubu, was the chair when these revelations were made then, but he was reluctant to take steps against Ndlovu. On the 29 December 2022, a formal request together with statements by complainants was made to Major General Kana of the DPCI to investigate the alleged illegal mining activities and cash transactions by Brigadier Linda Ndlovu, the station commander of Forceman. During that time, the provincial commissioner briefed the national commissioner. To date, the case died a sudden death. The Provincial Commissioner informed the National Commissioner General Masemola the intention to transfer him. Instead, the National Commissioner General Masemola suspended the Provincial Commissioner. Major General Cynthia Phillison is the provincial head of crime intelligence, together with Major General.
And I was like, oh my God, this lady, is that enough? She went ahead to even told us about extortion and human trafficking and how Major General and how Fannie Masemola was protecting these people that were conducting these illegal activities that were going on. She also spoke about illegal mining as well and how Torakaba was also involved in this thing of illegal mining. And Fannie Masemola continued protecting these people that she sees in her world and investigations that they were acting unlawfully. And she says she still tried to speak to Fannie Masemola about all of this. But Fannie Masemola, like, literally wanted to take her power as the provincial police commissioner. And she just felt like Fannie Masemola just doesn't want to hear her. Because she says one of the reasons why she's speaking now is because she tried to knock on many doors to deal with this thing, but it looks like this press brief was the only option she's left with. Because in the beginning, she did tell us about how she contacted Senzo Mchunu, how she contacted Fannie Masemola. It got to the level where it is. All I can say is that I'm shocked that Abo Cedric Ngabinde and Senzo Mchunu knew about these allegations against Fannie Masemola and they've never raised them. Like, these people have raised everything. They've tried to discredit all of these officers, especially Khumalo, Kwanazi, as well as Fannie Masemola. The fact that these allegations are made, and in the making of these allegations, these people have never said anything, whereas they know that this lady exists and has complained before about what is going on in Mpumalanga. I wonder, guys, I feel like this is definitely bigger than what we think, and that she has given us a head start and more is still going to happen. Others are saying she must go to Matlanga Commission. Definitely, I think it can, because it's some form of political interference, what is going on in Mpumalanga. And I think she should be afforded an opportunity to talk about everything and Masemola to respond, because Arkland Amata did kind of respond, and this is what she said.
I don't want to speculate at this stage. What I indicated earlier is that the matters raised by the general must be subjected to the appropriate investigative processes, because we need to establish facts. We can't speculate for now. But we know that the Mpumalanga Commission is at work, and it is an important tool, it's an important instrument to uncover the truth, establish facts, and ensure accountability in matters of, significant public interest. I will be consulting with the general. We will be consulting internally, obviously, with our legal department and so on. But most importantly, we need to then get hold of the detailed dossier by the general, so that all those allegations must be tested, they must be investigated, so that we discover the truth. And if there's any wrongdoing, then decisive action must be taken against those that are accused of wrongdoing.
But I think this is definitely deeper than what we can think, guys. It's actually a lot happening in our country. And yeah, Abu Fannie Masemola, I don't know if this is it. People are saying this was like a campaign against him, especially following that this week he's going to appear at the courts regarding the charges that he's facing with IDAC. So I don't know. People are just saying that they're just finishing Masemola off. They're finishing them one by one, because why would she come now? Yeah, she's given us her reasons and excuses. But yeah, it's just kind of worrying what is going on in Mpumalanga. I just think that we should do what we've done with Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi and give her the benefit of the doubt and not treat people unfairly just because it's this person. We are urgent, because it's another one. We are like, she's lying. I think let's just give an opportunity to prove everything that she's saying it's there. Given the airtime that she thinks given the airtime, and be given the opportunity at the Mpumalanga Commission to give her testimony, and then from then we can decide as the public if whether we think it was all worth it or not, and whether she actually is part of the people that are actually paid to speak bad about Masemola and tarnish Masemola's name, or she was actually telling the truth about the things that are happening in the subs. Let me hear what you think, guys. Let me hear your thoughts. I'll see you on my next upload. Bye.